I made a video of a sweet potato bake recently, and when I went to edit the video, I'd somehow deleted the first few parts of the video. So what I'm going to do is, I'm making the sweet potato bake, but I'm only going to record the first little bit here, and then I'll just add that to the rest of the video that I've already made. I know it's a bit of a pain, but yeah. So I'm going to use some oregano, cumin, paprika, salt, black pepper, beef mince, a few mushrooms, 1 courgette, a little bit of tomato paste. So I'll chop up the vegetables and I'll get started. So I just want the mushrooms diced. There's the mushrooms. Onto the courgette now. And I want to cut the courgette similar, just diced, pretty small pieces. So here we go. 1 courgette, about 4 mushrooms. These are white mushrooms, but when I did the other video, I think I used chestnut mushrooms. So chestnut or white mushrooms. I think the courgette was a bit of a different size as well. It's just what it is. It's fine. It'll be okay. So now I'm going to cook the beef and then add the vegetables, the spices, season it a bit and cook that down and get ready for the bake. There goes the beef. That's 500 grams of beef. Just brown it off a little bit and then we'll add the vegetables. Courgettes, mushrooms, cook it for a couple of minutes and then we'll add the spices. So here I've got about half a tablespoon of oregano, about 2 tablespoons of paprika, 1 tablespoon of cumin and about a teaspoon of salt. Next, the tomato puree. So it's about, I'll probably put all that in. I'd say a couple of tablespoons. Let's see. Now we'll get all that in. Now I've got some hot water that I've already boiled. Mix it all together. I haven't measured the water. So this is the wooden spoon. That's touching the bottom of the pan. So we don't want too much water where it's stewing it all down and it's really watery. But we want it to cook down a little bit. If it cooks down too fast, because I haven't put enough water in, I'd just add a little bit more. And you'll see further on in the video what I mean by that. Because you want a little bit of liquid because it helps cook the potatoes. So now I'm going to start to simmer this, and the rest of the video will be the one I made the other day. Hope you like it. I'm using these trays for the sweet potato bake. A couple of inches in depth. The shape doesn't matter. And then I've got a smaller one that I'm just going to press on top. when it goes in the oven initially, and then I'll take it off and let the top crisp up a little bit. So I peeled the sweet potato. Now we're going to do 2 layers of the sweet potato. One layer is going to go at the bottom, grease-proof paper, baking paper, a little bit of oil. The shape of the potato at the bottom is irrelevant. Nobody's going to be seeing the bottom, you're just going to be eating it. And if you want to make it nicer on top, because that's what people are going to see when you bring it out of the oven, it's going to look all lovely. You want the potato slices to be as similar size as possible, which isn't always easy with sweet potatoes because it can be really funny wonky shapes. So what I do is, this is quite a decent shape one. I'm going to chop the ends off, and the end pieces I'm going to slice and put at the bottom of the tray, and then what's left in the middle will be of a similar size, and then I'll layer it on top so it looks nice. Hopefully that'll work out. It could be that I need another potato, so maybe it won't end up like that at all, we'll see. But it'll still look nice even if they are a little bit misshapen, don't get me wrong, it's not super important. And they're not all going to be exact on anyway, as much as you try. So I'm going to leave that bit for the top and this for the bottom. Now the slices, you need a decent knife. This isn't very great actually, it's not as sharp as it looks. You want really thin slices. Some of them might be a bit thicker than that. You're not going to get them identical every single time. Look at that one. And this is going on the bottom anyway, so it's not super important, but be like this for the top as well. Those ones, that's from the bigger end of the potato. These I'm going to save for the top layer because I think I've got more than enough for the bottom there, so I want to pick out the more similar sizes for the top layer. Yeah, imagine that in a crisp, if it was turned into a crisp. Maybe I can do this one day. Put similar seasonings on, like paprika, cumin, a bit of salt. I like put them individually on a tray maybe with a bit of oil. See how they turn out in the oven. I do already make sweet potato chips and sweet potato wedges in the oven. It's really easy and they're really nice and tasty. I'll post a recipe for that because it's really simple and it doesn't take long. This last piece is awkward. So we'll put this on the tray. Make sure you check on the beef in the pan from time to time and give it a little stir. You don't need to worry too much about how it looks, but I'll show you. what I'm basically going to do anyway. So, does that focus? Get it right to the edge and then overlap. And then overlap that one. And again. And these are all anything from this to that, or to this, because it's going at the bottom. Be a bit more uniform on the top layer, but again, it's not super important. It'll still taste nice. It's just and it depends on the shape of your potatoes. If you get a bag of mixed smaller ones, they're all going to be different shapes. So there we go. Into. And now I'll slice the rest of it so it's ready for when the beef is finished cooking in the pan. Oops. It happens. Gets trickier on the last pieces there. That's what I've got so far. These two are getting tricky to slice now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut them in half and then that's much better. Even that one, because it's still a bit too thick. There we go. So here, there was a few pieces that I kept from the bottom layer, and this is the rest of it. You see, once you slice it up really thin, it goes much further than you think it will. You might think one potato won't be enough for the 2 layers on the bake, but sometimes you might have sweet potato left over, so then just chuck it in with your normal white mashed potato or something like that. Let's go and check on the pan. Lovely. I'm just going to leave it switched off for a couple of minutes. Just leave that because it's very hot. Leave it for a few minutes and then we'll make the bake. I just tasted it and I want some more oregano in, so when you taste it, if it needs a little bit of black pepper or a bit of salt or whatever, you only know once it's cooked and then you taste it at the end. But that's absolutely fine now. I've left the the pan for about 10 minutes, and as you can see, a fair amount of the water has evaporated, or it's thickened up with the spices, etc. You can see bits of it there. This is what you want. So there's enough fluid to help cook the sweet potatoes and soften those up. All the juices will soak into the sweet potatoes, but there's not so much water and liquid that it's like your sweet potatoes are swimming swimming in a bath of spiced beef in the middle. We don't want that. Now, because I don't measure for things like this, sometimes when I cook it, you'll get more you'll get more of the liquid coming through the top layer, and other times not so much. It depends. It'll be a little bit different each time. It's like the same when I make a cottage pie. So sometimes I make a cottage pie and you get a little bit coming out oozing out of the edges a bit in the oven of the gravy on the potatoes, and sometimes loads of it comes out and it's all over the top of the pie. It just might be a little bit different every time you make it. It's okay. So what I'm going to do now is put I'm going to grate some red Leicester cheese on top of this layer now. That's the first layer of cheese. Oh, I do have one. So I forgot, but I sprinkle some tin sweet corn on top of the cheese. Totally forgot. And then I thought, oh, I don't think I've got one left in the cupboard actually. But I do. You don't have to use the sweet corn if you don't want. If I make chilli similar to how I've done it there, I'd normally put beans in and I'd put sweet corn in the pan with the meat. I mean, it pretty much is similar to a chilli filling, isn't it, really? I've never tried adding beans to this. I bet it tastes good, really. Some pinto beans or red kidney beans. I might try that next time. A good use for leftover chilli, probably. Now we're going to add the beef. There we go. More cheese. I'll try and start with the larger slices first, but hopefully they'll all be a similar size. We'll see. You can see there's a bit of a gap there because the size is a little different, but perfect. There we go. I've still got those left. I'll try and fit them all in. There's some at the bottom there. That one. There we go. So that's what it looks like. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of oil, not too much, because there's oils that are going to come out of the cheeses and there's already oil and fats coming out of the filling anyway, so I don't want to drench it, make it too greasy. So just a little drizzle, a sprinkle of salt, some black pepper, and then I'm going to put the baking paper on top. Salt. Black pepper. There we go. Because I don't have two of the same tray that will fit into one another, there's a gap like that there. So what I'll do is just press it down there, and then I'll leave it like that. I'm not sure where the scissors are, or I'd cut the sides down a little bit. So I'll just fold it in slightly. If you're using a gas oven, careful, because there's a naked flame in there. But I'm not sure where the scissors are. So this is what it looks like. It takes up about 2/3 of the tray. I'll put it in the oven for about 15 minutes or so, and then I'll move the tray over to this side, probably for another 15 minutes or so, then take it off, take the paper off, and let it cook with nothing on top of it there. The oven's at 180 degrees Celsius. And of course the oven is already hot, so make sure it's a hot oven it goes straight into. So the tray that I had on top, it's had half the time on this side and half on the other, and it's been in the oven for about 25 minutes ish. That's how it looks at the moment. You can see that the sweet potato has definitely softened up. And now I'm going to put it back in the oven without the paper, without the other tray. Here it is out of the oven. All in all, it maybe took about 40 minutes. It depends on the heat of your oven and all that. Everyone's oven's different. Let's take a slice and have a look. There we go. Look at that. You can see the steam coming off. It's a little bit crispy around the side there. You can see it's kind of kept its shape, and it didn't fall to pieces when I scooped it up. And I think that's because of when I put the tray on top of it. I've always done it like that, so maybe it won't make a difference, I don't know, but habit and all that, eh? So there it is on the plate. You can see the layers there. Have a taste. Oops. It's really nice. You can taste the cheese and the vegetables. It's really tasty. And sweet potatoes are really good for you as well. They're really healthy. If you like sweet potatoes and you like chili type flavours, you probably like this.